Well, hello everybody. This is Byron Belka calling in this beautiful morning from Springville, Utah, here at headquarters of Rain International, and I'm excited for today's training. As we get ready to expand all across North America, as well as continuing to expand across the globe, a lot of people have a lot of questions as they get involved with this opportunity, as they get involved with Rain. They have the energy, they have the excitement, they see the power of the products, they see the benefits of owning your own business and the power of building something that's yours that can't be taken away from. But a lot of times in this industry, a lot of people aren't quite sure where to put that energy and exactly how to do things. And so over the next couple of weeks, as we do these Saturday trainings, we're going to talk about some of the basics of the business as well as what this rain cycle is all about. Now, there's a lot of ways to do one thing. I can get to New York from Salt Lake City by walking, or I can get there by flying, but it's a lot easier to fly. And what we want to do through this process and through these trainings, guys, are give you the tools and techniques and principles that you need that are proven to help minimize, once again, the trial and error process and get people to where they're wanting, to their goals and their dreams a lot quicker. And so one of the things that I've loved about this is I got involved in this industry. One of the things that I can contribute my success to is that I had people who were doing it, who were seeing success and could teach me how to do it. And over the last decade of being in this industry, helping people succeed, watching people try a lot of different things, what we're going to be teaching you is stuff that I can tell you. It's not just my opinion, but it's basic principles on what works in this industry. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to kind of break this down into segments as we go through the rain cycle and focus on the different aspects of the business. Now, the beautiful thing is these things that I'm going to be showing you, you have access to in your back office. If you go, in your back office underneath your office materials, you're going to be able to download these things as well if you don't have them right in front of you right now, and you can refer to this stuff later as well. So let's get into this. Now, our business is Rain, and I love the marketing and the way that we put this together with the rain and the seeds. Not only is the seeds a powerful concept of where the nutrients are, but it's how we it's how we focus on every aspect of the business. So when you think of our system, I also want you to think of seeds. And what we do is we use this seeds as an acronym for, if you want something to work, it needs first off to be a system. It needs to be simple, it needs to be effective, educational, duplicable, and it needs to be a system. And it is all about systems, and people need to understand that it's the difference in between Jeopardy, if you're familiar with Jeopardy, where you need to know a lot of facts in that game show, or Deal or No Deal, which is another game show where you need to just pick a number. Okay, to play Jeopardy, what do you need to do? You need to know a lot of stuff. Okay, to play Deal or No Deal, where you're picking a number and trying to get the right one, what do you need to know? Not much. And if you want to have a system, and if you want to reach the masses, because that's what we're about, we start with a few people that turn into hundreds, that turn into thousands, that turn into tens of thousands, and then hundreds of thousands of people in this industry. If you want your organization to grow and flourish like that, you need to have something that the masses can do. And that's why it has to be systematized. It has to be something that is a system. And you look at a McDonald's, you can walk into a McDonald's, and a lot of times you can see an 18-year-old manager behind the counter that's running that McDonald's. And the question that I want to pose to you is, how is that possible? That McDonald's is probably still doing millions of dollars in sales monthly, and they have an 18-year-old manager that has basically zero business experience, except for what they've learned to do the small management things in the McDonald's. Well, the reason that can happen is because it's not about the person. It's the systems are already in place for that business to flourish and see success. And no matter what we're talking about, if you want to see something grow and be successful on a grand scale, there is a system behind the whole process that's working. All right. And our system here at Rain that we have, like I said, you got to think of the acronym of SEEDS, and that is it needs to be simple. People need to do it. There's a lot of people that come from a lot of different backgrounds here. It needs to be effective, which means a lot of people are doing this part-time. Most people don't have years and years and years to just figure it out. Okay, it needs to be effective. It needs to be educational. They need to be learning and growing because of it. And it needs to be able to be duplicated with not only through them, but through their organization. And this RAIN cycle is how we've put it together in a system. And I'm going to tell you, when you go through this whole RAIN process and this RAIN cycle process and this training and understand it, you're going to know more than 95+% of the people know and understand in the network marketing industry, which I know is probably crazy, but it's the truth. Because this isn't just a small little system where we're going to tell you a couple of steps. We're going to go in and really teach you how to do this business and how to turn a few people into a lot of people. All right. And so one of the first things that you want to do when you're going through this process and you're getting people involved is you want to make sure that they're committed. You know, when I first got into this business, I had somebody grab me by the arm and tell me what to do. They told me exactly what to do. They told me that I needed to go out. There's only a few months or a few days left in the month. I was in a monthly compensation plan, and they told me I needed to go out and get 15 people by the end of the month. There was only a couple of days. Now, I'd never really been in network marketing full time with real mentorship or with people that really understood it. I'd signed up in a couple of opportunities and basically gotten the product. It didn't really build the business or treat it like a business. All right. This was the first time I had somebody kind of leading and directing me. And really, at the very beginning, I didn't know what to do. I needed somebody to tell me what to do. And they told me I needed to go and get 15 people in my business by the end of the month. Now, with a few days left, we went out and I got 12 people in my business. Now, I didn't get 15. I fell short. I got 12 in just a couple of days. And I felt like a failure. You know why? Because I thought that I needed to get 15. I didn't know that 12 was good. And I found out later that 12 was pretty good. But I didn't know that then. See, because usually when people get involved, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to put their time and energy. They're looking for somebody to kind of help show them and direct them. And one of the first steps that needs to happen is as you bring people into your organization, you need to sit down with them and you need to fill out a commitment letter. Now, we also have this commitment letter in your back office that you can download, but you need to sit down with your people and you need to do it within the first 48 hours of them being in the business. And you want to go through this commitment letter so that there's no misunderstanding. There's nothing to understand or misunderstand about what's going on. It's just a clear path on what they're after and what's expected. And so, I know a lot of people, when you get somebody in the business, they're just so excited that they have somebody new in the business that they don't want to put any added pressure or, they don't want to feel like they're trying to, push them to do anything. But I'm telling you, when somebody gets into the business, that's the time where you need to put the most pressure on somebody. You want to go out there and have them see success right out of the gate. All right. And you can do that once again by filling out this commitment letter. So I'm going to go through this with you today, and I'm going to kind of show you some of the high points of the commitment letter. And so you can see what and why we ask these different questions and how we can help people get started. All right. So the first thing that I do is I want to know, one of the first questions is, have you done network marketing before? One of the reasons I want to know this is because I want to know if they have, were they successful? And if they weren't successful, let's break that down and figure out some of the reasons why they weren't successful. Because obviously they weren't following some correct principles. Something was going on for them not to see those results. And I want to know, do I need to go through a 10-step recovery process with these guys? Because you know what? My experience has been totally different. And I want to know, have they done network marketing before? Let's break this down. If they haven't, then I know that I'm going to need to probably start at the basics and help them understand the concepts of and the benefits of this industry as a whole. Another question that we're going to ask as part of this commitment letter is, how many hours a day are you going to set aside to do your business? Now, and on the commitment letter, we have a place, and every day of the week is listed. And they can just say, maybe on Monday I can do this from 3 to 5 o'clock, or on Tuesday they can do this. But I don't want them just to tell me how many hours. It's really easy for somebody to say, yeah, I'm going to do this 20 hours a week. I think I can get this done. I can carve out 20, 30 hours. It's easy to say, but one of the reasons why I want them to write this down is because I know something, and that is every single person is already using every hour out of every day towards something already. That's a fact. And so as you're writing these things down, and as they say, I'm going to put in 20 hours, I'm going to do this part time, I'm going to put in 15 hours or whatever they're telling you. I want them to show me where that time is coming from for two reasons. One, I want to know when I need to be available to help them. Remember, if I'm their upline sponsor, the reason we call them a sponsor is you need to help sponsor and get things going. Okay, when somebody joins your business, if you're doing this full time, you need to be married to this person. If you're doing this part time, you need to figure out when you can carve out time where you can be there to support them, and that's why it's important that you're looking at the time frame and when they're going to be able to put time aside to be building this business. Now, if somebody comes to me and says, I'm only going to be able to do 3 or 4 hours a week, I'm going to probably tell them not to do the business, honestly. I'm going to say, guys, there's no real way that you can 3, 4 hours, just get on the product, try the product, get passionate about it, because 3, 4 hours a week isn't going to cut it. And I've been doing this for years and years. You're not going to see the momentum that you really need and be consistent. 3, 4 hours, how are you going to build a team and be able to support your team if that's all you can put into it? All right. So I would say that somebody needs a minimum. You're going to need a minimum of 10 to 12 hours if you want to kind of do this part-time overtime a week. And so as we carve this thing out, another thing is going to happen. And that is, as I mentioned, everybody's already using every hour out of every day. So they're going to realize that they have to sacrifice. They're going to have to give some things up. They're going to say, okay, Wednesday night from this time, well, that's when my favorite TV show is. Or, this is when I usually go bowling with the guys. Or they're going to see that, to carve out an extra 15, 20, 30, 40 hours, there's a sacrifice. You're going to have to change what you're spending your time doing. Okay, but it's really a recipe, and it's really just an equation, guys. The results that you're getting today is based on what you're doing and how you're spending your hours. If somebody wants a different outcome, if they want to make 10 times the money that they're making today, if they want to totally replace their income, if they want this or they want that, I don't know, maybe they're making $30,000, $40,000 a year and they want to make $100,000. Okay, it's a recipe. And if they want a different outcome, they need to put different things into the time to be able to get that different outcome. And that's something that I want to make sure is very, very clear for people. Is sometimes people tell me that they're not getting the results that they're wanting, but their efforts aren't matching their expectations. You can't come into this business and work a few hours a week and expect to make $10,000 next month. Okay. And in this industry, that's one of the flaws is I think a lot of people make it sound like it's way too easy, like it's some get rich quick program. And it's not, guys. This is a get rich quicker plan. And when I say get rich quicker, I mean this isn't a 30 to 40 year plan. This is a 3 to 5 to 10 year plan. This is you get focused for the next 3 to 5 years. All right. And you can be in a totally different scenario. And we have this happen to people all the time. Okay, so it's not a get rich quick plan. It's a get rich quicker plan for those people that really treat it like a business. But I want people to understand that there is work involved. You're going to lose more people in your business by making it sound too easy than you ever will by being real with people and telling the truth. This is work, okay, but it's worth it. And this commitment letter is going to help us get started in mapping out that process so that they understand what's really expected. So what we've done now is I've got them to tell me what hours of the week they're going to carve out so that now I can help them and as a sponsor, kind of like I said, be married to them that first little bit in the business and help them get going and get trained. It's like a baby. It's like having a baby. Yeah, the baby is cute and everything, but you need to help it. It can't feed itself. It can't do any of these things. You need to be there to help. And that's how it is when you're bringing somebody new into your business. Another thing that I want to know is I want to know what intrigued them the most. What are they interested in? What are they most interested in? Are they interested in time freedom? Do they have money, but they just don't have time? Are they interested in financial freedom? Okay, where they've never had the resources to be able to do the things that they want to do. Are they interested in health freedom? Because of the fact that They want to live better, live longer, feel better, to be able to do the things that maybe they haven't been able to do. Maybe they have pain that's there that's holding them back. Maybe they have something. But what is it that really are they the most interested in? I want to know. And I also want to know, what is the main reason for them getting involved in our team? What is it? Are you, as we say, sick and tired of being sick and tired? You want something better? Has somebody let you down? Have you believed in that mirage that we call, the traditional business world, that, and not just the traditional business world, but the job security that comes with it? And they were let down by that. What is it? What is their main reason for getting involved with our team? I want to know these things. Another thing is how committed are they to doing the things necessary to getting it done? All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, you've told me, why you're interested in this, what's your main reason for getting involved in this team. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most committed, how committed are you to doing what you've got to do to get to that point where your goals are reached? How committed are you? How committed are you to getting up on Saturday and listening to a training? How committed are you to sticking to these hours on a weekly basis? Because this isn't like a normal job where you have somebody over your shoulder making sure you're getting it done. This is not. You've got to have that desire. How committed are you to getting it done? Really? I want to know. And then I'm going to also ask them, if I, as your upline, see you getting off track, what would you like me to do about it? Because right now I'm asking for permission, because I'm here to tell you, all of us will get off track. Every single one of us get off track. It's life. Sometimes life gets in the way. We're trying to go down a path, and then all of a sudden we get sidetracked by this, or we get sidetracked by that, or something happens, and a week or two goes by, or a month goes by, and we're not focusing like we should. Okay, it's going to happen to every single one of us, and it's going to happen to everybody that you bring into the business. And if we know this, then what we need to do is we need to ask them up front. If I see you getting off track, here's what you're telling me you want to do. Here's the hours you're telling me you want to put in. If you get off track, if I see you getting off track, what do you want me to do about it? Right now I have permission that if I need to call them up and say, hey, listen, I'm sitting here trying to help build your business. I'm setting time aside for you, but yet you're not available. Okay, I haven't seen you at the weekly meeting in the last couple of weeks. You're not on the trainings, whatever it is. What do we got to do? You just get them back on track. And now you have their permission because you've asked for it up front. So these are some of the questions. The other thing that I want to know is, I want to know, what do you want to accomplish here? Here, the goal in Rain, and like I say, we use everything around rain and water and seeds, and I love the marketing behind this whole thing. But I want to know, what do you want to do in your business? Is your goal to go out there and just get it started and kind of create a mess? Basically, maybe because you can only do it part-time. Do you want to create a drizzle, or do you want to go out there and create a downpour? And knowing this up front is going to help me be able to, as a sponsor, and you as a sponsor, be able to know what they're after and what their goals are. So we're not trying to get them to do something that they're not wanting to do. All right. So when somebody tells me they want to go get a mist going, that means they just want to go kind of expose this opportunity to a few people. Maybe get a couple people on the product, but their goal is to go get 2 people in the business in the next 2 weeks, as fast as we can. A drizzle, let's go out there and get 4 to 6 people as fast as we can in your business. And a downpour is the people that are really wanting to go out there and committing to let's go get 10. Let's go get 10 people that want to go out there, or that want to join your business. Let's go do it as fast as we can, because there is a rule out here that and I don't know if people go by the 80-20 rule or anything like that, but if you get 10 people, you're going to find another 2 out of those 10 that want to go out and get 10 people. And you can see that this can happen a lot faster. Obviously, it can happen even if you go get 2. But we're talking about the speed and the pace at which somebody wants to go. Now, excuse me, if somebody tells me they want to go get 10 people, but they only have 10 hours this week, I'm going to tell them it's not going to work. Once again, we got to make sure that people's expectations match their efforts. And as we go through these things, we can tell people what they're looking for and what they're after. And this next part of the Rain cycle is just that. And we find out what they want. And now let's walk backwards and take their goal over even the next couple of weeks and bring it into a reality. These little successes that people can see along the way is what you need to get to that end result and get past that finish line. So if somebody tells me they want to go get 10 people as fast as they can, I want to, and they want to do it within the next 2 weeks, then what we need to do is I'm going to ask them some questions, and so we need to divide how many people we want by how many weeks, right? So if they want to get 10 people in 2 weeks, then obviously they need to bring in 5 people a week, or we can bring it in that way. And obviously, that can continue. I mean, you can bring in 3 one week and 7 the next, but we're going to try to break that down into smaller chunks. 5 people a week in 2 weeks. So now we're walking backwards. Like I said, we want the 10. Take a step back. What do we need to do? We need to bring in 5 new people in 2 weeks. All right. So if we need to bring in 5 new people weekly, how many presentations do we need to be doing to bring in 5 people? And a lot of times I'll let them answer. And they'll say, well, if we want 5 people, then we probably need to present this to, I don't know, 10, 15 people. I said, okay, yeah, that's probably right. You probably need 15 people to see it this week, 10 to 15 people for you to bring 5 people into your organization this week. All right. And the same thing needs to happen the next week. So if you need to do 15 presentations, how many commitments do you need this week to listen to a presentation to actually present to 15? Well, we're probably going to need 20 people, 25 people committing to see a presentation for us to actually have 15 people see it for us to get 5 people in the business. All right. And then we're going to break it down even further than that. And if you need to have 20 to 25 commitments, how many people do you need to talk to on a daily basis to get those kind of commitments out of them? Now, we want to do more there, obviously, at the beginning of the week as we're setting all these appointments up, but what do we need to be doing? If you want to be sitting down and talking to 25 people, we need to be talking to 75 people this week. 50 to 75 people we need to be calling. Okay, now what am I doing? Now, guys, I've seen both things happen. I've talked to 5 people, we sign up 5 people. I've talked to 5 people, we sign up no people. So, I mean, I've seen it happen, and what you got to do is you just got to put the right expectations out there, because we're in a hybrid binary compensation plan where you need one person on the right, one person on the left. You have these 2 teams that you're starting. So a lot of times people say, I've got the 2 perfect people. I just got to go out there and talk to these 2 perfect people. In their mind, these people need it, they want it, they're going to do it. Okay, but it's not just as easy as that all the time. Sometimes it works that way, but most of the time it doesn't. And so what I'm wanting to do is I'd rather people be pleasantly surprised. I'd rather them think, okay, I'd rather them really only need to call 20 to 25 people to set up those appointments. But guys, I want things to be realistic, and I'd rather people be pleasantly surprised. But let's walk backwards and show them, okay, you need to be calling 15 to 20 people a day. That's what we need to be doing. I remember when I was really going, when I first got into the business, I was on the phone all day long when we were doing this. We called them 50 to 100 phone call days. That's what we would do. We didn't feel it was a very successful day if we'd made any less than 50 phone calls. With me and my team and my organization, and the people that obviously were seeing the biggest growth were the people that were putting in the time and the energy. And a lot of times it comes back to that. Are you putting the time and energy into it? And once again, it comes down to what you're after. Are you wanting it to downpour in your business? Because you need to take massive action then. Because massive action will give you massive results. You're not going to get massive results without massive action. They go hand in hand. It's a universal principle, right? You need to go out there and you need to do the work. And so as we walk backwards and turn this goal into a reality with people, once again, we're setting a clear expectation on what needs to happen. All right. And then we're going to go out there and execute. It's almost like any other business. How do you expect to see any success in any business if you don't have a plan? If you went to any type of investor, and these investors, once again, in this business, are people that are believing you and wanting to be part of your team. When people get involved in this organization, it's not just because they love the product. Sometimes they love the product, they want to do it, but it's not just that. When you have people that want to be part of your team, it's because they want to be part of your team. Okay, and so once again, they're coming and they're in a way kind of investing into you. They believe you too, and what you're telling them. Okay, but if I were in any other business to go and try to get investors and start a business, and I go to them and I don't have a plan, I can't show them how it's going to work, I can't show them what we're going to do in the next month to get closer to our goals, they're going to laugh at me. Okay? They're not going to give me any time of day. And so we need to be doing this. We got to treat this like a business. And that's the difference between people that really see success in this industry. You have to treat this like a business. You treat it like big business, you're going to get big results. If you don't, you're not. Okay? If you treat it like a hobby, it will treat you like a hobby. And usually hobbies, what? They just cost us money. Now, the beautiful thing about this is, it's all based around a product that changes people's lives. So whether they take it serious and do big things or don't, they got their money's worth because they're getting this amazing product and soul that's doing things for them. Okay, they should be on this product anyway. All the other things are just a bonus. All right. So what I want to do in this commitment letter too is I want them to give me their top 15 people. Now, we're going to go through the foundation of the rain cycle, and you're going to see that in just a second as we break this thing down and what the different aspects of the rain cycle are. But I still, before we get the foundation and their lists and everything put together, I still want a list to work with right now. I want to ask them what their top 15 people and who their top 15 people are right now. And I'm going to ask them who is their number one person. If you could do business with anybody, if you could go out there and get anybody in your business because you love working with them, because they're good with people, whatever the reason is, who is your number one prospect, the number one person you would love to be in business with? And I'm going to write it down. And a lot of times, this is my icebreaker. So as they write this down and they put the name and the phone number down and they say, his name's Tim, and and I just really like this guy. He's hard work. I'd love to be in business with him, and they write down his phone number or they give me his phone number. I'm going to call him right there. And they might be like, whoa, what are you doing? But I want to show them that this business is not as hard as they're made. I want to break the ice. And so a lot of times I'll call that person and I'll say, hey, hi, Tim. Yeah, my name's Byron Belka. I know you don't know me, but I'm sitting here with Sam, one of your friends. And I just asked Sam, Sam and I, we've got a new project that we're working on that we're really excited about. We've got something that nobody else has. And I asked Sam, if you could be in business with anybody, who would it be? And he told me you. And so that's one of the reasons I'm calling. When is the soonest that you could get 15, 20 minutes where we could come sit down and show you what's going on? And then I'm going to set up an appointment with him and I'm going to get off the phone. And then Sam's going to be sitting there and he's going to say, he's going to be sitting there and he's oh, that wasn't that hard. It's not that hard, guys. This business is very, very simple. What we do here is very simplistic. It's not I'm not saying it's easy, to be consistent. It's easy, but it's simple. It's really simple. We complicate it and make it a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Okay, but let's say that person's either can't meet or is not interested or whatever. Even if I don't set up the appointment, they're going to see that it really wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, it took a minute or two on the phone. It wasn't that big of a deal. All right. And so, but I've done this a couple of times where we go and we talk to somebody who's your number one prospect. We get them some information, have them see some stuff online, and we sign them up. And we do the same thing with that person. And by the end of the day, we have 3 or 4 levels deep. When that person just got involved that day, and we got 3 or 4 levels deep underneath them in that same day, because we get to work. We get doing it. We put who is your top person? Who's your top 15 people that you want to go out there and talk to? All right. So there's a couple of also things that I want to make sure that people understand when they're putting this together. And one of the things is I want people to realize that there's things that they need to do to be successful, and there's things that they shouldn't do to be successful. Now, this new person is just brand new into the business. They don't understand a lot about the product yet. They don't understand a lot about the compensation plan. Obviously, they like what they've heard, but they can't really go out there and do it themselves yet. So one of the things that I want them to commit to me is I want them to commit that I will not explain or talk to prospects about the business, product, or opportunity on my own without my upline leaders yet. Okay, you're not ready. Okay, and so your goal is to be one thing and do one thing at the very beginning. And that is you need to be an expert inviter. That's it. Just be an expert inviter. Because if you call somebody up and they're like, well, what's this thing about? And they're like, is this network marketing? Yeah, it's network marketing. Well, I've done that before. Well, this one's different. Why is it different? because I mean these guys seem to know what they're doing. We've got this product and it has antioxidants in it. Well, that's nothing special. There's a lot of products with antioxidants. I know, but this one's a little bit different because it's seeds and 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 as you go and get other people, you can get paid, and you have two people underneath you, and you can build down, and it goes forward. And, well, that sounds like a pyramid, but no, it's not. See, you're going to get beat up. You don't know how to explain it. Okay, it's like throwing somebody to the wolves almost. You want to make sure that this is done properly. You don't know the questions and how to answer them, but you can invite somebody. You can say, you know what, I don't know a lot about this. I'm working with these guys, but I'd love you to come hear of it from them. I want them to tell you like they told me, and I'm pretty confident you're gonna be blown out of your mind like I am about what these guys are doing. You can be an expert inviter. That's what you need to be doing. Okay. Another thing is you need to realize that you need to be a responsible sponsor and duplicate the system and don't change it. Okay. Maybe you did something different in another company, or maybe you were in another network marketing company and they did some things this way. Or maybe, maybe it wasn't a network marketing company and it was a different business that you did something in, or maybe you have some good ideas. And I'm not saying that they're not good ideas, but what I'm saying is don't be changing the system, because if you're changing the system, then what you're doing is you're isolating yourself from what everybody else is being taught. All right. And as you become a leader in this organization, we sit down with our leaders once a year, and more than that if we need to. And as leadership, we can decide what needs to happen if there's going to be a change. But the whole group's going to change it, even if it's something better. And you think it would be better, don't change it. I remember what my mentor told me when I first got started. As I was young, I was ambitious. I had a lot of good ideas, I thought. I had a lot of things that I thought would be good in the business. And you know what he said to me? He said, Byron, make your first $1,000,000 my way. Okay, these are great ideas. I know what we're teaching you works. Make your first $1,000,000 my way. After you've made $1,000,000, if you want to change it, change it. But until you've done that, don't change it. Do what we're teaching you. Okay, follow the system. If you have everybody out there doing their own system, then you don't have a system. Everyone's doing their own thing. And so that's why I want them to realize, let's hone in the principles that we're teaching you and follow our system. Okay, I want them to commit to getting to the next available getting started training and learning how to do this business. Take the time to learn the RAIN cycle. Go through that stuff, because I don't know anybody that would start a business. Why would you buy a franchise and not learn how to go and run that franchise? Why would you start a business and not learn how to do it? Okay, it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, we've got the beautiful thing about what we're doing here is we'll teach and we'll train you for free. I mean, most people go and they try to learn from multimillionaires in seminars, and they'll pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to do all this stuff, and that's great. Okay, because the information is probably worth it. But here, you're going to have people that are successful, that are making a lot of money. You're going to have millionaires teach and train you for free. All right, if you'll just do it, because everybody in your upline is seeing success. They have your best interest in mind. That's one of the things I love about this industry. Get the training that you need to get started. Make sure that you're committed to doing that. And if you know when the next training date is going to be, you want to write this down on their commitment letter so that they're planning on being there. Okay, you want to make sure that they're going to commit and support all local events. That was one of the things that I had hammered into my head and that I did. We had a monthly event when I was started in the business. I was there every single month. I could probably tell you word for word what was going to be said after a year or two, because I'd been to it every single month. But it didn't matter. It was about not just me being there, but I was there, my leaders were there, and their teams were there. It's about the new people as well. Even though I learned new things and focused on new things, and got stuff out of it still, even if like I said, I learned everything, it was not just about me. And people need to understand, this business is not just about you. People will not do what you're not willing to do. Okay, you can't tell all your people to get on a Saturday morning webinar if you're not on it. Okay, but if you're on it, then you can say you need to be on it too. You can't get people to come and tell them to come to a weekly or monthly meeting if you're not doing it. So we need to be the first ones doing it. And once again, it's not always about you. It's about the group and it's about the team. Okay, so you want to write down when the next local events are. You want people to support the local events. You got to be at the local events. And, I remember the first time I missed an event that my mentor was doing. Okay. And I was young, newly married, and it was my anniversary. And so my mentor was coming into town. He was doing a meeting that night, and I didn't go. And I didn't let him know that I wasn't going. And I went out, and obviously we celebrated our anniversary. And this was in the middle of the week. It wasn't the weekend or anything like that. I've been married a lot longer now. We usually wait till the weekend or whatever now. But the very beginning, it was on the date. That's what we were celebrating. And so I remember that next morning I got a phone call. Now, when my mentor called me, if I didn't pick up the phone, he would just call again, and he would call again, and he would call again. And I knew every time he called, he would be more frustrated. So he called me, and I picked up the phone because I knew what it was going to be about. And he said, "Byron, you weren't at my meeting last night." And I said, "I know, I apologize. It was my anniversary and da da da." And he's like, "Guess how many people in your team were at my meeting last night? Guess how many people were there?" I said, I don't know." He's like, "Not very many. There were a lot of people there, but not a lot from your team. Do you know why?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you weren't going. And since you weren't going, you didn't promote it. And since you didn't promote it, your team wasn't there. And they missed out on an opportunity to expand their businesses, and they didn't because you didn't go." He's like, "When are you going to understand that this is not about you? When are you going to understand that this is about the team? And they're not going to do things that you're not willing to do." And once again, at first I got a little bit frustrated thinking, this is my anniversary. Da, 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 da. And then he also told me, he's like, "Byron, you could have at least let me know you weren't coming." And then obviously after he got done chewing me out a little bit, he said, "Well, I understand it was your anniversary and da da da." But you know what? I got off the phone with him, and I started thinking, and he was right. I didn't promote the meeting because I wasn't going. I didn't do any of those things, and and they did miss out on a great opportunity because from it was an amazing meeting. A lot of people joined the business, and for a lot of people's businesses, things continued to grow at a faster pace that took advantage of that. And so I learned right there that even though maybe I didn't like hearing it, and maybe I didn't at first agree because hey, it was my anniversary. He was right that it's not about me, and it's not about you guys. It's about the team, and it's about what we're willing to do. You have to be at events. It's not just because we want to have some big rah rah session. We need events, and there's a lot that comes out of the energy that comes out of those events that you just can't duplicate anywhere else. Getting all those people together that have like-minded beliefs and are excited to hear the new testimonials, the new promotions, and the new things. It's important. Okay, another thing is you got to be a product of the product. You got to be buying this product and consuming this product every day. Now, as I mentioned, this is a product all of us want to be on anyway. It's amazing, but you can't be out there promoting something you're not doing. You got to practice what you preach. So make sure you're on an auto ship and commit to doing that. Okay, make sure that you're committed to the hours weekly that you've set aside to build your AIM business, and commit to a minimum of 2 years. Okay, it's going to take time. It's going to take, and not only does it take time for you to hone in your skills and to get better, but it's going to take time for duplication to happen. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, we're coming up close to almost 2 years of being Rain International, and there's some people that were here at the very beginning, that were in the right place at the right time, but didn't see the long-term vision, weren't committed for more than a few months. And you know what? There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people underneath the organizations that they started if they just would have stuck around. All right, but they didn't have it. It takes time. You've got to be committed, and you got to be consistent. Not just committed. Yeah, I'm committed. I like Rain, but I'm still not doing anything for 6 months. No, what I'm saying is you got to be committed to your goals and your hours and the time frame that you're putting into this, and do it consistently on a daily and weekly basis for 2 years, and you will be amazed at the outcome. Okay, you'll be amazed at the outcome. And then here's what I want to do. I'm going to sign this thing. I'm going to sign it, and I want them to sign it, because this is a commitment that we're making to each other. Another reason I love this business, or I love this commitment letter, is because people can't come up to me later and say that they didn't know or that it doesn't work. If somebody comes up to me and says, "Byron, this just network marketing, this just doesn't work," I can look them square in the eye and I can say in a nice way, "No, it does work. You don't. You're not working. How do you expect it? How do you expect it to grow when you haven't done the things that you've even committed to in your commitment letter? Okay, it's not going to grow. It hasn't. I mean, because that's the thing. People will give. Nobody wants to take responsibility for their own failures. Okay, nobody wants to take. It's the economy's fault, or it's the president's fault, or it's my dad's fault, or it's guys, take ownership. Take ownership. Okay, if you succeed in this business, it's because of you. If you fail in this business, it's because of you. Okay, it's all comes down to us going out there and getting it done. And this business does work. I mean, we have people right now that have been in this industry for over a decade that are making more money than they've ever seen in any other network marketing company they've ever been a part of. We have people that have never done network marketing before that are coming because of our compensation plan and our profit system that we put together and how it's team friendly and team focused, are seeing amazing results right out the gate. Okay. Once again, I don't know why it happens sometimes faster for some than others, but here's what I do know. If you put your numbers down and you have a plan and you execute that plan and you put the time in, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it will. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. All right. So as we get and started into this in this RAIN business, one of the first parts of the fuel is this commitment letter. Okay. So the first 48 hours that people get into the business, we want to focus on the fuel. And that commitment letter, I would say, is the most important thing. Are you doing that with your people? Have you done it yourself? If you haven't, go back and do it, because it's going to make all the difference as you bring people in into your business, so they know exactly what they should be doing, or you know exactly what they want to accomplish, so that we don't have to guess. You also want to study all of the information that's contained in your back office and the starter kits that are coming. You want to build your foundation, which we're going to talk about on another day and go into that. But you want to get them started on that as they're going through this RAIN cycle training manual. Okay, you want to have everything in place to start their launch meetings. The first 2 weeks, you want to be doing these launch meetings. You want to help launch their business, and you want to do at least 4 of them in the first 2 weeks. You want to get them on the RAIN products, make sure they're taking that daily, and that we've got the auto ship set up in the back office and everything set up. So they're going to continually get their product and not only have that product to practice what they preach, but be active for commissions and qualified. They need to be buying at least 1 box a month, right? To be qualified. You want to make sure that they've got everything set up in the back office for us to pay them. So sometimes, when people sign up, they got to even give us their bank account information. They got to get a pay card set up. They got to give us a way for them to give us commissions, or we can't give it to them. And so if somebody doesn't have it set up, then we can't pay them. It's still there. It doesn't disappear, but they need to get that set up. Let's make sure we get our people set up right from day one, right at the very beginning, those first 48 hours, so that we don't have to worry about it later. Okay, and then set up a time when you're going to start that communication. Based on the hours that they've set in the commitment letter that they're going to be putting towards this business. When are you going to communicate? Are you going to call each other in the morning and touch base? What are you doing? You want to make sure that you sit that down, and then you want to make sure that you're taking your we call it the RAIN Freedom Challenge. You can call it whatever you want. Where do you want to be? Obviously, we have a 2-week goal, but we want to say, where do you want to be in the next 90 days? Okay, the next 3 months, where do you want to be? Do you have a financial goal? Do you have a health goal? Do you have a number of people in your organization goal? What do you want to be in 90 days from today? Okay, because I think it's good. Obviously, we want to go out there and know what we want to do the next couple of weeks, but then let's look at a couple more months and figure out what we want to do there. Okay, so this first week in the business, what we want to do is we want to make sure that they have written goals. And I'm not gonna take the time to go through that whole thing, but I'm gonna show you a way. And as you print this thing out, it's gonna explain how you can go do some goal setting and turn your goals into dreams, and the power of that. All right, so you're going to be looking at putting your list together. You're going to be able to go, and if you want to set up your business cards, you can go to rainintl.com. You can set up your business cards. You can also go to myraingear.com. It's myraingear.com, and you can order your business cards, anything that you're wanting on that front. And like I said, you're going to want to know when the webinars are, when the calls are. You're just wanting to get them informed on everything that they need to be plugging into, and that's really it. They need to be plugged into it, because we need to get charged. It's almost like a fire and coals. You take Once you've got that fire burning, you have all those coals together, they stay hot. But if you take that one coal and you put it aside, that thing is going to cool off a lot faster than all the coals ever will together. Okay, because it's not there with it. This is a business. We're all out doing our own things. We're all out running our crazy lives. And at the same time, we're trying to build business. We have to plug in so that we don't cool off. It's just it's all of us. It's not just we have to make sure that we're plugged into to our weekly things, to the things that we're doing, so that we don't cool off. So we need to make sure that people understand and we can stay focused on what the task is at hand and what our goals are by attending these leadership training events and different things like that. So there is a dream building process that I'm not really going to go through right now, that you can see that is in part of step one, which is the fuel and the rain cycle, that tells people how to do that and turn those their goals into their dreams and what they're really focused on. You got to have your why. Okay, you got to have your reason, because every single one of us is going to get knocked down. Okay, every single one of us is going to have a discouraging day.